For more than 20 years now, Jennifer Connelly has been happily married to Paul Bettany. However, before that, she had the craziest sex encounter with her fellow stars, especially with the ones that were older than her. She herself admitted it once in an interview with Rolling Stone. "I found when I did go out with men my own age, I got into some ridiculous situations. Some called her a man-eater, and others whispered about her insatiable appetite for older men. But the truth is, Jennifer Connelly's pursuit of these thrilling and sometimes dangerous connections lead to her deep-seated insecurity. And by the time she met Paul Bettany, she was almost ready to give up on love altogether." It might sound shocking, but as you watch this video to the end, you'll understand how those wild experiences shaped the woman she is today. "I started working when I was so young that I wasn't making my own decisions. It was my mother who encouraged my career and took me to all the castings. Only when I was older was I able to become independent, which is when I started making my own decisions." She was only 10 years old when she started modeling. Her parents must have been incredibly supportive, right? Well, not exactly. It was her father's business partner who suggested she try modeling. That's a bit strange, don't you think? But it gets even more unsettling. Her father, who was a clothing manufacturer, was initially hesitant about the idea. But her mother, on the other hand, was thrilled. She saw it as a way for Jennifer to become someone. During her first photo shoot, the photographer told her that she had an ethereal quality and that she was a natural in front of the camera. "You have the face of an angel," he told her. And remember, Connelly was just 10. She even admitted years later, "It was all so new to me. I didn't really understand what was happening." Next thing she knew, she was auditioning for commercials and landing small roles in films. Her father, who was a strict disciplinarian, wasn't entirely comfortable with the idea of his young daughter being in the public eye. But her mother, who was more ambitious, encouraged her to pursue her dreams. And as for Connelly herself, well, it seems like she was a bit of a reluctant star. "I was a very shy child," she said. "I didn't like being the center of attention." But despite her shyness, Connelly's career quickly took off. She landed a major role in Sergio Leone's epic film Once Upon a Time in America when she was just 14. At just 14, she landed a role in Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in America, where she shared the screen with Robert De Niro. Though she was just a teenager, the film's mature themes and suggestive scenes thrust her into a world of sexuality far beyond her years. A few years later, she starred alongside David Bowie in the cult classic Labyrinth. Even Bowie, with his androgynous mystique and undeniable charisma, couldn't help but be captivated by Connelly's youthful allure, and their on-screen chemistry sparked rumors of an off-screen romance. Connelly has never confirmed the rumors, but she has spoken fondly of Bowie, calling him kind and gentle and comforting. "I was really impressed by him and how he behaved in that film. I'd been a fan of his, but became a super fan after that," she said. Her early roles often focused on her beauty and sexuality, leading to some uncomfortable experiences. In one instance, a professor at Yale, where she briefly studied, commented on a sexually suggestive poster of her. "It sure as hell wasn't a subject that I was dying to learn about from my professor," Jennifer said. Despite these challenges, Jennifer continued to pursue her acting career. She starred in films like The Rocketeer and Career Opportunities, which further cemented her status as a sex symbol. However, Jennifer was determined to be seen as more than just a pretty face. She sought out challenging roles that showcased her talent and intelligence. "I like to work hard better than anything else," she said. Despite these early experiences, Jennifer craved more than just on-screen romance. She longed for real-life connections, but her early relationships often left her feeling disappointed and insecure. "I found, when I did go out with men my own age, I got into some ridiculous situations," she admitted. One such situation involved a high school boyfriend who bragged about winning a bet on how long it would take him to sleep with her. These experiences fueled Jennifer's desire for older, more mature partners. She found herself drawn to men who exude power and confidence, hoping they would provide the stability and security she lacked. One of her early flames was Billy Campbell, the star of The Rocketeer. They met on set in 1991 when she was just 21 and he was 33, and the two fell head over heels for each other and their on-set chemistry quickly translated into a real-life romance. The first time that I met Bill, Jennifer recalled, what I actually recall thinking was, he is so fucking tall. How am I going to work with him? Despite their 11-year age gap, the couple became engaged, and Jennifer seemed to have found the love and stability she craved. However, their relationship would eventually fizzle out, leaving Jennifer heartbroken and questioning her choices. It's strange to realize he was born in the 50s and I was born in the 70s, she mused after their split. Despite the heartbreak, Jennifer continued to explore her sexuality and seek out meaningful connections. Jennifer's next serious relationship was with another older man, photographer David Dugan. They welcomed a son, Kai, in 1997, but their relationship soon crumbled. Parenthood changed the way I do everything, Jennifer shared. The biggest thing for me is wanting my kids to grow up safely and have happy lives. Jennifer's pursuit of older men continued with actors Josh Charles and Billy Crudup. Both relationships were short-lived, but they further fueled Jennifer's reputation as a man-eater. I'm not the most gregarious person in the room for sure, Jennifer admitted. I can be kind of shy in a group. Perhaps it was this shyness that drew her to older, more confident men. Or maybe she was simply searching for a love that could provide the security and stability she lacked in her own life. Whatever the reason, Jennifer's string of relationships with older men would eventually lead her to the love of her life, Paul Bettany. But before we get to that, let's take a closer look at some of Jennifer's most intimate and revealing moments. Jennifer's early roles often focused on her striking beauty, sometimes to her dismay. She once lamented a life-size mechanical poster of herself for the movie Career Opportunities, where she was depicted on a mechanical horse with the tagline, "He's about to have the ride of his life." That sure as hell wasn't a subject that I was dying to learn about from my professor, she quipped, referencing the awkward encounter with a Yale professor who had seen the poster. Even in films with more substance, Jennifer's physicality was often emphasized. In The Hot Spot, she shared a steamy scene with Don Johnson, and in Mulholland Falls, she went fully nude in a scene with Nick Nolte, and she herself admitted to feeling a sense of liberation in these roles. "I think they're overused and people get very flustered by them," she said of sex scenes. "People don't know how to discuss them, and there's a lot of embarrassment. It's not my favorite thing to do, but there are circumstances in which they make sense. I just wish people wouldn't dance around them." Perhaps the most controversial role of Jennifer's career was in Darren Aronofsky's Requiem for a Dream, where she portrayed a woman spiraling into drug addiction and engaging in degrading sexual acts. The film was a critical success, but it also sparked debate about its graphic depiction of sex and drug use. Jennifer, however, defended the film and her role in it. "It was a film that I really campaigned for," she said. "That was the first film I did after becoming a mother, and I knew that everything was changing for me at that time." Jennifer's willingness to push boundaries and explore the darker side of human experience is a testament to her fearlessness as an actress, but it's also a reflection of her own personal journey, a journey that would eventually lead her to find true love and happiness with Paul Bettany. It was on the set of A Beautiful Mind in 2001 that Jennifer Connelly's life took an unexpected turn. She met Paul Bettany, the man who would become her husband and the father of her two youngest children. "I've never been this close to someone that beautiful before," Paul recalled thinking when he first met Jennifer. "I remember thinking, I bet every man you ever met has tried to flirt with you." Jennifer, however, was initially drawn to Paul's musical talent. "He started playing guitar and it was all over," she confessed. Their connection deepened after the tragic events of September 11th. Paul, worried for Jennifer's safety, realized he was in love. He impulsively proposed, even though they weren't officially dating yet. "We were both in other relationships at the time," Jennifer explained. "Clearly we noticed each other, and clearly we liked each other, but I have very strong feelings about things that are right and things that aren't, and that was all very clear. We didn't get involved, we went back to our separate lives." Fate, however, had other plans. 6 months later, they reconnected, both single, and their whirlwind romance blossomed. They married in a quiet ceremony in Scotland in 2003 and have been inseparable ever since. "Marriage and children changed my life," Paul shared. It really altered who I was and what I saw as my goals. Jennifer, too, found a sense of peace and stability she had never known before. "I'm more reserved. I can be kind of shy in a group," she said. "I mean, I manage it pretty well, but he's much more outgoing than I am. Once I'm comfortable with someone, I'm not reserved." Together, they have created a loving and supportive family. "The moments I cherish most are when I catch myself and realize the five of us are laughing together," Paul said. "And there is nobody on earth with whom I could be having a better time." Jennifer's journey has been one of self-discovery, exploration, and ultimately, finding true love. From her early days as a child model to her fearless portrayal of complex characters, she has always pushed boundaries and challenged expectations. And through it all, she has remained true to herself, emerging as a strong, independent woman who has found happiness and fulfillment both personally and professionally.